Danielle, and this is my 6-year-old son Broxton, this is my 7-year-old son Tyson, and this is my 3-year-old daughter Peyton. I've been in Teen Challenge for about 2.5 months, and thankfully I'm allowed to have my children here in the program with me. I grew up the oldest of 12 children. My mom had 8, so we were a blended family, but I was always the oldest. My parents divorced when I was about 12 years old, which was really hard for me, thus started my age of rebellion. And from there, I continued to make good grades in school. I was constantly overachieving, trying to impress parents that weren't necessarily focused on what I was doing. I played sports and I got good grades. I graduated at the top of my class in high school and forfeited a scholarship to go to college to stay home for a boy. When I was 20, I wound up getting pregnant with my first son. I had him when I was 21, and then a year later I was pregnant with my second son, both out of wedlock. I've never been married. And then a couple years later, when I was 25, I had my third child, which is my daughter. My drug use started when I was 16 years old. I started smoking marijuana and drinking with friends, trying to be the cool girl who fit in with the cool crowd. It just escalated from there. Though I kept my grades up, I still continued to party on the weekends and smoke marijuana regularly. I began to experiment with other drugs, and this was the beginning of the end. When I graduated high school, I was working at a casino and got caught up in a crowd of people living on the reservation and started doing more drugs and lost complete track of any aim or goal in my life. That's when I wound up getting pregnant the first time, and then I was sober for a short bit and wound up going out for my birthday and again getting pregnant, and I just didn't know what to do. I actually lied to my family and told them that I had been assaulted, and that was not the case. I was making poor decisions and drinking, trying to fill a void that I didn't know how to fill. I had previously been taught about God and was not relying on Him whatsoever. He was nowhere in my thoughts. This all escalated into a pill addiction. When I had my first son, they prescribed some oxycodone, and I was on it for a long time. Realized that I liked it. Eventually, it escalated into different pills, and I was stealing from my family and stealing from people I worked with and using pills at any time I could get them. Sometimes I would sit and think, when was the last day that I had been sober, and I couldn't remember. As a mom, it was hard to function regularly because I thought that I needed something to help me every morning when I woke up, or every day to get the cleaning done, to get the laundry done, to be fun, to be creative, anything. And anytime I didn't have drugs or alcohol at hand, I would want to sleep. I was tired, I was cranky, I was irritable. And though I did my best to love my kids the best that I could, I wasn't. I was under a delusion that I was being a good mom, when ultimately I was just trying to fill my own selfish needs the whole time. At my bottom, I was living with my daughter's father and was extremely depressed. I didn't know happiness, I didn't know joy. When I broke up with him, I wound up going to live with my grandparents, and trying to pass a drug test, I had started drinking several days in a row. And I broke down and told my grandmother I needed help. Something just clicked, and I knew that I needed help for a long time, and finally, in an emotional drunkenness, I just went to my grandma and told her I needed help. I have no preconceived ideas about my future. I know I want to serve the Lord for the rest of my life, and I know for a fact that He will point me in the direction that He wants me. He will show me where He needs me to serve.